IELTS Speaking Part 3 Health and Lifestyle.
How important is a healthy lifestyle in today's world?
Maintaining a healthy lifestyle is absolutely vital in today's world, as modern life often involves long hours of sitting, reliance on processed food, and increasing levels of stress. Engaging in regular physical activity, eating a balanced diet, and taking care of mental health are crucial not only for preventing serious illnesses, but also for enhancing overall performance and well-being. I firmly believe that in the 21st century, good health has become the cornerstone of personal and professional success.
Do you think people today are healthier than in the past?
In some respects, yes. Advances in medicine, vaccination, and hygiene have significantly increased life expectancy. However, lifestyle-related diseases such as obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular issues are far more prevalent today. So, while we live longer, we don't necessarily live healthier. It's a paradox of modern living.
What role should governments play in promoting public health?
Governments have a crucial role. They should implement policies such as taxing sugary drinks, banning harmful advertising, and subsidizing healthier options. Moreover, public health campaigns about exercise, smoking, and mental health can educate citizens. Left to individuals alone, health often gets neglected because unhealthy choices are cheaper and more accessible.
Why do you think many people struggle to maintain a healthy lifestyle?
The main reasons are lack of time, convenience, and cost. Fast food is often cheaper than fresh produce, and busy work schedules leave little room for exercise. Additionally, motivation plays a huge role. Many people know what's healthy but fail to stick to routines due to stress or lack of discipline.
How can technology influence people's health?
Technology has both positive and negative effects. On the positive side, fitness apps, smartwatches, and online workout classes encourage healthier habits. On the negative side, excessive screen time promotes inactivity, poor posture, and even sleep disorders. So, it depends on whether technology is used consciously or passively.
Should schools do more to encourage children to adopt healthy habits?
Absolutely. Schools are the best environment to instill lifelong habits. They should provide healthy meals, ensure physical education classes, and teach children about nutrition and mental health. If young people are educated early, they are more likely to carry those habits into adulthood.
Do you think people today focus too much on physical appearance when it comes to health?
To some extent, yes. Social media often equates health with being slim or muscular, but true health is much broader. It includes mental stability, stamina, and disease prevention. Unfortunately, this obsession with appearance sometimes leads to unhealthy practices such as crash diets or over-exercising.
How do cultural differences affect people's lifestyles?
Culture shapes diet, exercise patterns, and even attitudes towards health. For instance, Mediterranean diets are naturally healthier, while some Asian societies place strong emphasis on herbal medicine and balance. On the other hand, in Western societies, fast food and convenience culture often dominate. So, lifestyle is deeply embedded in cultural traditions.
Do you think stress is a major health issue in modern society?
Without a doubt, stress has become a silent epidemic. Long working hours, financial pressure, and social expectations lead to anxiety and burnout. Chronic stress not only affects mental health, but also manifests physically in the form of high blood pressure and heart disease. Managing stress should be a priority for both individuals and governments.
How has diet changed in your country over the years?
Traditionally, people ate more home-cooked meals with seasonal ingredients, which were healthier and more balanced. Nowadays, diets have shifted towards processed and fast foods because of urbanization and busy lifestyles. While convenience has improved, nutritional value has declined, leading to more lifestyle-related diseases.
Should people be held responsible for their own health?
To a large extent, yes. Individuals must make conscious choices about what they eat and how active they are. However, I don't believe responsibility lies solely with individuals. Society, governments, and corporations also influence health by shaping the availability and affordability of healthy options.
Do you think modern medicine has made people careless about their health?
In some cases, yes. People sometimes rely on medication as a quick fix instead of preventing problems in the first place. For example, someone might eat unhealthily but depend on cholesterol tablets. While medicine is life-saving, over-reliance can reduce personal accountability for maintaining a healthy lifestyle.
How important is exercise for maintaining good health?
Exercise is absolutely essential. It strengthens the cardiovascular system, improves mental well-being, and boosts energy levels. Importantly, it also prevents diseases like diabetes and osteoporosis. I'd argue that exercise is as critical as diet, if not more, because it benefits both the body and the mind.
Do you think alternative medicine is effective?
Alternative medicine can be effective in certain cases, such as managing stress or improving general well-being. Practices like yoga, acupuncture, or herbal remedies have proven benefits. However, they should not replace evidence-based medical treatment for serious conditions. Ideally, alternative and conventional medicine should complement each other.
Why do you think obesity has become such a global problem?
Obesity results from a combination of factors: sedentary jobs, cheap high-calorie foods, and aggressive marketing by food companies. In addition, urban lifestyles discourage walking or cycling. It has become a systemic issue, not just an individual one, which is why it requires collective solutions.
Do you think mental health is given enough importance in your society?
Unfortunately, not yet. There is still stigma attached to discussing depression, anxiety, or therapy. Many people prioritize physical health but neglect their emotional well-being. However, awareness is gradually increasing, and I think in the near future, mental health will be seen as equally important as physical health.
How do work-life balance issues affect health?
Poor work-life balance often leads to chronic fatigue, stress, and unhealthy eating patterns. People who work excessively may sacrifice sleep and family time, which are crucial for mental stability. Conversely, a balanced lifestyle enhances both productivity and overall well-being. So, striking a balance is not just a luxury, but a necessity.
Should employers be responsible for their employees' health?
To some degree, yes. Employers can create healthier work environments by offering gym memberships, promoting flexible hours, and ensuring ergonomic workplaces. Since employees spend most of their waking hours at work, companies have a moral and practical duty to support their well-being.
Do you think people will live longer in the future?
Life expectancy is likely to continue rising due to medical advances, biotechnology, and improved healthcare systems. However, the real question is whether people will live healthier lives. Longevity without quality of life may not be desirable, so emphasis should be placed on healthy aging rather than just longer lifespans.
What do you think the future of healthcare will look like?
I envision a more personalized, technology-driven system. Artificial intelligence, genetic testing, and telemedicine will allow treatments tailored to individuals. Preventive healthcare will likely dominate, shifting focus from treating illness to maintaining wellness. At the same time, affordability and accessibility will remain critical challenges.
IELTS Speaking Part 3. Science and Innovation.
How has science changed the way we live today?
Science has fundamentally reshaped our lifestyles. From smartphones and the internet to modern medicine and renewable energy, it has made life faster, safer, and more interconnected. For example, communication that once took weeks now happens instantly through video calls. However, science has also created challenges, such as overdependence on technology and ethical dilemmas in artificial intelligence. Overall, its impact is both transformative and double edged.
Do you think scientific discoveries benefit everyone equally?
Not entirely. While major breakthroughs, like vaccines, have saved millions of lives, access is often unequal. Wealthier nations adopt innovations quickly, whereas poorer countries lag behind due to infrastructure and cost barriers. For instance, during the COVID-19 pandemic, some countries had widespread vaccine distribution, while others struggled to secure doses. This inequality highlights the gap between invention and accessibility.
What role does innovation play in economic development?
Innovation drives economic growth by increasing productivity, creating new industries, and generating employment. For example, the rise of Silicon Valley shows how technological startups can transform a region's economy. Furthermore, nations investing heavily in research and development, such as South Korea, consistently outperform others in global competitiveness. Without innovation, economies stagnate.
How important is government funding for scientific research?
Government funding is crucial because not all research yields immediate profit. Private companies usually invest in projects with commercial potential, while governments can support fundamental science, like space exploration or particle physics, that might benefit humanity in the long run. For example, GPS technology originated from government funded research, but is now indispensable for daily life.
Should scientists be held responsible for how their inventions are used?
To an extent, yes. Scientists must consider ethical implications, but complete responsibility is unrealistic. For instance, nuclear technology can generate clean energy or devastating weapons. The decision lies with policymakers and society at large. Scientists should provide warnings and guidelines, but misuse often stems from politics rather than science itself.
How has innovation changed education?
Education has been revolutionized by digital tools. Online platforms allow students to access resources anytime, anywhere. Artificial intelligence offers personalized learning, while virtual reality makes abstract concepts more tangible. For example, medical students can now practice surgeries in simulated environments before treating real patients. However, it also risks widening the digital divide for those without access.
What are the disadvantages of rapid technological innovation?
One drawback is job displacement, as automation replaces traditional roles. Another is the erosion of privacy through data collection. Moreover, people may become overly dependent on devices, losing basic skills. For example, GPS reliance has reduced people's ability to navigate independently. Thus, innovation must be balanced with safeguards and education.
Do you think artificial intelligence will replace human workers?
In certain sectors, yes. AI will automate repetitive, data-driven tasks such as customer service or logistics. However, human creativity, empathy, and ethical decision-making remain irreplaceable. For example, AI can diagnose diseases more accurately than doctors in some cases, but it cannot provide emotional support to patients. The future likely involves collaboration rather than replacement.
Why do some people resist new technology?
Resistance often stems from fear of the unknown, generational gaps, or concerns about job security. Older generations may struggle with adapting to digital tools, while workers fear automation. Additionally, cultural beliefs play a role. Some communities prefer traditional methods over modern ones. For instance, farmers may resist genetically modified crops due to health and environmental concerns.
How do scientific discoveries affect cultural values?
Discoveries often challenge long-held beliefs. For example, Darwin's theory of evolution reshaped humanity's understanding of origins, sometimes conflicting with religious views. Similarly, innovations in reproductive technology have changed traditional concepts of family. Science doesn't always replace culture, but it forces societies to adapt and reconsider their values.
Do you think space exploration is a waste of money?
Not at all. While critics argue that funds should solve earthly problems, space exploration has yielded numerous benefits. Technologies like satellite communication, weather forecasting, and even medical imaging trace their origins to space programs. Moreover, exploring other planets may become essential for humanity's survival if Earth's resources are exhausted.
How can science help solve global challenges such as climate change?
Science provides evidence of climate change and develops solutions like renewable energy, carbon capture, and sustainable agriculture. For instance, advancements in solar and wind technology make green energy more affordable. Without scientific innovation, humanity would remain dependent on fossil fuels. That said, political will is equally necessary to implement scientific solutions.
What qualities should a good scientist have?
A good scientist must be curious, analytical, and ethical. Curiosity drives them to explore questions. Analytical skills help them interpret results, and ethics ensure discoveries are used responsibly. For example, Jonas Salk, who developed the polio vaccine, refused to patent it, prioritizing humanity over profit. Such qualities define true scientific integrity.
Do you think children should be encouraged to study science?
Absolutely. Science not only equips children with practical knowledge, but also cultivates critical thinking. Encouraging young learners to explore experiments fosters creativity and problem-solving skills. Even if they don't pursue scientific careers, the mindset helps them navigate an increasingly technological world. For instance, understanding basic biology is essential for making informed health choices.
Can science and tradition coexist?
Yes, but it requires balance. Science provides evidence-based solutions, while tradition offers cultural identity and wisdom. For instance, traditional medicine may be rooted in centuries of practice, but scientific validation can enhance its credibility. Coexistence means respecting heritage while embracing progress.
Should all scientific discoveries be made public?
Transparency is vital, but certain discoveries, like bioweapons research, pose risks if misused. Therefore, a balance between openness and security is necessary. For example, publishing information about creating deadly viruses could endanger global health. Knowledge should benefit humanity, not endanger it.
How do you think science will change in the next 50 years?
I believe we'll witness breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and space colonization. AI could reach human-level intelligence, genetic editing might eradicate hereditary diseases, and humans may establish bases on Mars. However, such progress raises profound ethical and social questions, making governance more crucial than ever.
Should innovation always aim to make life easier?
Not necessarily. Some innovations should aim to make life more sustainable rather than simply more convenient. For instance, single-use plastics made life easier but created massive environmental damage. The best innovations balance convenience with long-term responsibility.
Do you think developing countries can compete in scientific innovation?
Yes, but it requires investment in education, infrastructure, and international collaboration. Countries like India have shown that developing nations can achieve breakthroughs in space technology and pharmaceuticals. However, systemic issues like brain drain and lack of funding often hinder progress. With proper support, innovation is not limited to wealthy nations.
Is there a danger in relying too much on science?
Definitely. Blind faith in science can be as dangerous as rejecting it entirely. Over reliance may lead societies to ignore moral and cultural considerations. For instance, cloning technology demonstrates how science can outpace ethical frameworks. A balanced approach, where science informs but doesn't dominate decision making, is essential for humanity's well being.
IELTS Speaking Part 3 Global Issues.
Why do you think global issues are becoming more urgent today?
Global issues are escalating because of rapid industrialization, population growth, and environmental degradation. Problems such as climate change, resource scarcity, and migration require urgent action, as delaying solutions could have irreversible consequences for humanity.
How can international cooperation help solve global problems?
International cooperation allows countries to pool resources, share technology, and establish common regulations. For example, agreements like the Paris Climate Accord demonstrate that collective action is far more effective than isolated efforts in addressing worldwide challenges.
Do you think developed countries should take more responsibility for solving global issues?
Absolutely. Developed nations often have greater financial resources, advanced technology, and historically, they have contributed more to problems like pollution. Therefore, it is fair for them to lead the way in finding sustainable solutions.
How has globalization affected global challenges?
Globalization has made challenges more interconnected. For instance, an economic crisis in one country can quickly spread worldwide, or a pandemic can disrupt international travel and trade. While globalization fosters progress, it also amplifies vulnerabilities.
To what extent is climate change the most serious global issue today?
Climate change is arguably the most pressing issue because it directly threatens ecosystems, food security, and human survival. Unlike other challenges, its effects are universal and long lasting, making it a priority for governments worldwide.
How do global issues affect young people?
Young people often feel the burden of global challenges more acutely, as their future is at stake. Climate anxiety, unemployment due to economic instability, and forced migration are just a few examples of how these problems impact the younger generation.
What role does education play in solving global problems?
Education equips individuals with knowledge, critical thinking skills, and global awareness. By fostering innovation and empathy, education empowers future leaders to design sustainable solutions and promote social justice.
Can individuals make a real difference in tackling global issues?
While individuals cannot solve large-scale problems alone, collective small actions can create a powerful impact. Recycling, reducing consumption, and supporting ethical companies are examples of how personal choices contribute to global change.
How do poverty and inequality influence global challenges?
Poverty and inequality exacerbate nearly all global issues. Communities lacking resources struggle to cope with climate disasters, poor healthcare, or education, which in turn creates cycles of instability and conflict.
Do you think technology can solve most global issues?
Technology has tremendous potential, such as renewable energy for climate change or digital platforms for education. However, technology is not a silver bullet. Without ethical use and equal access, it may even widen global disparities.
How important is cultural understanding in addressing global issues?
Cultural understanding fosters cooperation and reduces conflict. For example, when nations respect each other's traditions and values, they are more likely to negotiate agreements on global challenges like migration or human rights.
Should governments prioritize global issues over national problems?
Ideally, governments should balance both. Neglecting global issues such as climate change can worsen national problems in the long run. However, leaders must also respond to immediate domestic needs to maintain stability.
How do wars and conflicts contribute to global issues?
Wars displace millions, create refugee crises, and destabilize economies. Beyond regional borders, conflicts often trigger global repercussions such as energy shortages or humanitarian emergencies.
What role do international organizations play in solving global issues?
Organizations like the United Nations or World Health Organization provide platforms for dialogue, set global standards, and mobilize resources. Their influence is crucial, although their effectiveness often depends on the cooperation of member states.
How do global health crises affect international relations?
Global health crises, such as pandemics, test international solidarity. They can encourage collaboration in vaccine development, but they may also trigger tensions over resource distribution or border closures.
Do you think the media helps or harms in raising awareness of global issues?
The media plays a dual role. On one hand, it informs and mobilizes the public. On the other hand, sensationalism and misinformation can distort perceptions and undermine constructive action.
How does overpopulation contribute to global challenges?
Overpopulation increases demand for food, water, and energy, putting enormous pressure on the planet's resources. It also exacerbates issues such as unemployment, housing shortages, and environmental degradation.
How do you see the future of global cooperation?
I think global cooperation will become even more essential as challenges like climate change and cybercrime transcend borders. Although political tensions may hinder progress, shared survival needs will ultimately push nations toward collaboration.
What values should young people learn to address global issues effectively?
Young people should be encouraged to embrace empathy, sustainability, and critical thinking. These values not only prepare them to tackle pressing challenges, but also to become responsible global citizens.
Do you believe optimism is necessary when dealing with global issues?
Yes, optimism is crucial. While the scale of global challenges can seem overwhelming, a hopeful outlook motivates innovation, resilience, and long-term commitment. Without optimism, collective efforts may lose momentum.